We're back again. It's like we never left. Anyway, you guys know me. I'm your girl, Eletu Mivana. I'm not gonna say boy because you already know who I am. And today we have an amazing guest. And can I just add, Sienga Pilshaya, guys. We went international. We have Canada in the house. Don't know what I'm horns at some point in our lives. Anyway, our guest, the guest of today is FRANNIE Holder from Canada. So how I came about knowing FRANNIE is when I was interning at Moshito, and this lady introduced me to some of her music, and she also introduced me to one of her band members from Random Recipe, as well as Dear Criminals. So FRANNIE, would you like to say hi to the lifers?
Hello, this is FRANNIE Holder from Montreal, Canada, from the band Random Recipe, and Dear Criminals also is my other band.
Or would you just also like to give us a brief background of who FRANNIE is?
Yeah, so I grew up in Montreal. I'm born in Louisiana, USA, but grew up in Montreal and started making music about almost 20 years ago, 17 years ago to be exact. And the last few years I've been doing more music for theater, contemporary dance, and movies and TV shows and stuff. I a little bit less live shows and a little bit more sound design.
FRANNIE, we also know that you travel a lot, and you've traveled a lot in your life. So would you mind sharing your experiences whilst traveling, how your experiences have been with other crowds around the countries of the world, and what are the lessons from all of that?
Yes, obviously traveling and touring has been an important part of my career. When I started Random Recipe with Fab almost 17 years ago, we started making music because we were looking for a job that would allow us to travel. We were pretty naive because it's not everyone who makes it to a point that they can tour like we did extensively. But we were like, maybe we can work in an airline and be like air stewardess or stuff. But we ended up making music, which was a good deal. And we've been traveling ever since. I consider myself very, very privileged and very lucky to have had this career of touring and getting to know people from all over the world, and not just the crowds. You know, crowds in Peru aren't the same as crowds in France or crowds in Guatemala. So it's been really fun to play in different places and see how different cultures react to the same music. But also what's been a blessing is meeting other artists in other parts of the world and being able to understand what their struggles are, what their joys are, how they create music, what motivates them, what advantages they have being in a society or another, what they do to stay relevant. It's been very inspiring to see women's movements in music in Brazil or Chile, for example. And just being very inspired by the eccentricity of artists, let's say, when we toured in South Africa, and just see, wow, like there's so much soul, so much creativity and talent over there. I love having toured all my life, even though now I kind of tour less. I'm getting older and I'm not as I don't have the same energy as I used to have when I was in my 20s and could be on a different plane every 3 days and would have the same energy to play shows over and over again. So life is changing a little bit, but I feel very blessed for what I've had.
Yeah, so FRANNIE, we've seen a lot of artists cry out they've been sabotaged. And we have seen just how somewhat the industry has been dodgy towards those who want to pursue their careers. Would you say it is very important for them to have the knowledge to now move around, or rather save themselves from such moments of being in a very unparticular position.
I mean, being an artist and a creator in a constantly evolving world and environment and culture is obviously not always easy. But I think what has really helped me in times where, you couldn't make a living off of music, obviously, and has been really to center myself on why I do what I do. Why do I love playing for people? Why do I love making music? Why do I love meeting other artists? Why do I love centering my life around art and creativity and what it means to be an artist in the world today? There's so many different aspects of life, of struggle, and being an artist is a way of communicating things for other people and inspiring other people to be differently in the world, and hopefully bring a little bit of joy, of thought, of self-awareness in the world we're in. So yeah, I think often when I mentor young artists that start, and they just kind of want to be famous or want to be known or want to make it or want success, I'm like, yeah, but what is your definition of success? And this definition is going to constantly evolve throughout your career and your age and wherever you are in life. Success can mean hits on YouTube or on Spotify, but for others, success can mean changing the hearts of other people, or it can be creating a song that has carried someone through a depression or like through a grief, or it can be having created music that promotes social change. So, success is a very large thing, and when you know what is success to you, and in my life, success to me has been in music, has been being able to be in relation with other people and artists and crowds, and being able to understand the world better through connecting with other individuals, then it's easier to not feel too discouraged, or when things don't go as you hope they go, or in a kind of marketable way, because that doesn't last. Like, who cares if you have a number one hit or if you make money? Like, obviously money helps, but like, it's not what's going to make you feel accomplished, or it's not what's going to keep you, it's not what's going to make you get up in the morning and feel proud of what you do. But being able to connect, in my case, being able to connect with other people and other bodies of work, and just adding love to the world is what has made me continue even in more difficult times.
And how would you say how important it is to work with other people? In other words, collaborating with other artists.
Oh, and collaboration is just like the best part of music. You have your own vibe, you do your own things, you have your own projects. And especially when you collaborate with people from other side of the ocean or of the world, is like really special, because you get to blend experiences and backgrounds and musical backgrounds from different areas and create something completely different. Collaborating is really a privilege. I always feel blessed when another artist wants to do something with me or with one of my bands, and I'm always honored when an artist accepts to work on something that I'm working on. It's we all do our little things in silo, and I really don't believe in competition in art, even though the industry kind of structures artists, especially like female artists. They build us as if we were a competition, which I don't think we should be. There's place for everyone in a way. Collaborating is a really it's a really sweet thing to get us out of this little bubble you can tend to go deeper in if you only work by yourself. And I realize I make a lot of music for, like I was saying, for theater and dance and cinema, but when I always work alone, I end up kind of always doing the same thing. You have these reflexes and you become kind of lazy. But when you work with other people, you kind of have to adapt, or you learn from being with other people. So it gets you out of your comfort zone, and you do something fresh. So that's cool.
And on the note, I know I would like to know, and I know your fans would like to know, are we getting any new work from Fanny?
So yeah, this year for me, I'm gonna start touring a lot. I'm gonna start touring again with Dear Criminals, which was my other band, and I'm doing a lot of music for theater these days, and I'm gonna try to make an album with some of the tracks that I write for theater and dance, because often after the show people are like, is there a soundtrack of the show? And there isn't. Often the music I create is for a live performance of theater, and if you take out the stage and the actors and everything, to me the music doesn't make sense in the same way as if you create music for an album. So I'm going to try to find time this year to put together and work on tracks that I wrote for live shows of theater and dance, and try to make an album and do something solo with that.
Before we close it off, all copyrights reserved for the live and shows with MDA's production. And shout out to M Studios, shout out to Mdansan FM, and shout out to the music producer, Mr. Vuyo Manyiga.